how many meals do you need in order to build muscle? This is one of the questions that I get asked most often from the people that I work with in person and the ones that I work with online. The answer is not so straightforward, but we're gonna get you the best that we can in this video right here. So, how many meals do you personally need? Well, the most important factor for building muscle is being in a slight calorie surplus, or at least calorie maintenance, right? Enough calories, or what we call energy, right? That your body can go through the processes that it needs to go through in order to build muscle. Calories, energy, that's what we need most importantly. So, the first piece of that is how many meals will it take you personally to get to the amount of energy that you need? There's a lot of gurus and fitfluencers out there saying you can do it with one meal. And I'm not saying you can't. I think you probably can if you planned it really, really well. The problem is with that is really getting it in a way that you can also get in enough fiber and enough protein, right? We still want to be healthy in our muscle building journey, but protein is really filling. Fiber is really filling. So if we're eating these really filling things and we're trying to get all of it in one meal, it's gonna be really difficult. Now let's expand that to two. I think the same thing goes. It just gets really, really hard to get in the amount of protein you need and the amount of fiber that you need in order to get all of your calories in one meal so that you can build muscle realistically. I have my people that I work with do at a minimum, bare minimum, 3 meals per day. Typically a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that's for a couple reasons. The biggest one is what I just mentioned, just the fact of actually getting it all in a day. The calories, the protein, carbohydrates, fats, and all the vitamins and minerals and fiber and all the things that keep us healthy as well, right? We don't just want to be big and jacked, we want to be big and jacked and healthy as well. So we're looking at probably 3 meals for most people, but I would say beyond that, there is no limit. Some people that I work with really like to eat more. And what's nice about that is when we eat, and especially when we eat protein, we get a boost in muscle protein synthesis. Okay, that's essentially our body's ability to build muscle, or process of building muscle. And obviously we need to go in that process in order to build high quality muscles. So if we eat more spread out throughout the day, we actually get a lot more of these spikes in muscle protein synthesis. The opposite of that process is what we call muscle protein degradation, essentially just a breakdown of our proteins. Our proteins in our body, including our muscles, are being broken down all day long. But if we can outdo that with the amount of synthesis, then we're gonna net some muscle, right? We're gonna gain muscle if we're building more than we're breaking down, okay? That breaking down process happens at a steady rate throughout the day, but if we can spike that synthesis as much as possible, then we could probably build as much muscle as possible. So that's why I say about 3 meals throughout the day can get us really, really good. Maybe 4 or 5 could actually be a little bit more beneficial. That being said, we could also do that in some snacks. So a lot of the people that I work with will have 3 meals throughout the day because that's realistic for somebody who's working, for somebody who's busy, for somebody who has kids, for somebody who has a lot of extracurricular activities. You might only be able to realistically sit down and get in 3 larger meals, but you could probably get in at least 1 or 2 snacks throughout the day as well. So if you can add in a couple of snacks, maybe you have a meal, snack, meal, snack, meal, that could be 5 times in the day that you are spiking your muscle protein synthesis, which could really, really help in the long term. You may not notice it over the course of a week or even a month, but over the course of a couple months, maybe even a year, that could make a big difference. So what is the answer to how many meals you should be consuming? Well, at the end of the day, it's up to you. With my patients and the athletes that I work with, I see most people being successful with a minimum of 3 meals per day. And then on top of that, having maybe 1 to 2 and maybe even up to 3 snacks. If you need to consume more, you can always add on to that. You can always add greater portion sizes onto the meals you're already consuming. But I think if you start with 3 and 1 or 2 snacks, You're gonna be crushing it in order to build muscle. You can stay consistent, you can get in all the fiber, all the nutrients, all that good stuff to make you feel amazing every time that you step in the gym or out there on the sports field to compete in whatever you are competing in sport in life. Hey, if this helped, then check out the other videos on my channel where we can help you build a wealth of knowledge so that you can crush all of your sports performance and gym goals. And I'll see you in the next one.